Okay, Carly, it is Estate Planning Awareness Month. Can you please introduce yourself?
So, my name is Carly Ebenstein of CJB Insurance Services. I'm an independent insurance broker and I specialize in long-term care life insurance, and I've been educating and helping clients for over 25 years. I have a financial education. I'm formally Series 7 registered and also an alumnus of the Personal Financial Planning Program at UC Extension. And I love that this gives me a broad knowledge and appreciation of how insurance contributes to a person's comprehensive financial and estate plan. So I'm very excited to be discussing estate planning with you, Patricia.
I am so happy. You know that one of the things I love the most is interdisciplinary study. And the fact that you've already got your fingers in so many pies just to be a fantastic issue spotter to get your clients to the right professionals, it means a lot to me. And when I send you clients, I send them to you with confidence because I know that you're going to spot everything.
I love that you called me an issue spotter because I do tell clients that I know enough to be dangerous.
Yes.
And so, for example, like when a couple comes to me and they want to leave their life insurance to their minor child, I know they don't have an estate plan in place. And I know that there's a gap there. I know that I'm not that person to help them with the estate plan. And so I can refer them. And one thing I really appreciate about you, Patricia, is your webinars and that you really emphasize education so that people can really start to get educated about how to protect their families in, a very comfortable way and check you out. And so it's really easy to send people your way.
Oh, thank you so much. So you talk to people about estate planning. Share like the top two misconceptions, two or three misconceptions that you find that people have about estate planning.
So even though I'm not an estate planner, I'm not an attorney, I do end up talking about estate planning quite a bit on a very superficial basis. And one thing I notice is that a lot of people think that a will is a trust or the same as a trust or will do the same things as a trust. That's the first big thing. And the other thing is that it's expensive, it's only for wealthy people. And so these are things that I'm constantly talking to people about and encouraging them to get educated in order to protect their families, which is really what people want to do.
It is what people want to do. They want to protect themselves, they want to protect the people that they love. And everyone's trying so hard and they think they're doing all the right things. It's unfortunate there's so much misinformation out there. There are no shortcuts. There's only really good planning for the
Yes,
inevitable and the unexpected, right?
yes, yes, exactly.
So, in your experience, how important is it for clients to collaborate with multiple professionals? Like, what do you see as a client's typical professional team?
So, um, usually I'm one of the early people in the team because someone has maybe hypothetically, just had a baby. And so like, oh, wow, we don't know anything about life insurance, but we need to get this. And that's when, of course, they're new at this, they're young, and so I noticed that they need an estate plan. And so I plant the seed there. And then I'm also talking about financial planning because even though maybe they're still just starting out, I'll even tell them, you might think this is something that's not in your future or near future, but this is something you should be absolutely thinking about is helping bring this person. And I literally talk about teams. We want to be part of your team. You should, and you can be putting together your team because it's all interconnected. So, an independent financial planner is great. A fantastic, thorough estate planner like you is great. A good CPA is great. These are all people that should be part of a family's team. It doesn't have to come all at the same time. It can be very organic. And later on, there might be other professionals that are added. But hopefully, um, all of these professionals will be checking in with the client, periodically to make sure that things are current and up to date.
Let's talk about life insurance for a minute. What are the common misconceptions around life insurance? What mistakes do you see people making either in, the insurance that they purchased or in just conceptually, the way that they think about life insurance?
So most of the time when people come to me, they're very, very humble. And they're like, I don't know anything, as if they should know something, which I always kind of laugh. I'm like, they don't teach this in school, unless you go to life insurance school. And so they're very, very humble. And so they come kind of open to learn. And usually the first big mistake I see is they want to make their minor children the beneficiary. So that is like almost always going to happen unless I tell them otherwise, which I always do.
And
Um,
let's talk about the consequence of that, because if the beneficiary on your life insurance policy is a minor, minors lack the legal capacity to inherit. And so who decides what happens to the money? A judge.
yes.
A judge
Who?
that does not know you and does not know your people. And a judge could decide, oh, well, your sister is going to be the guardians. We'll just give her the money. But off she goes, a nervous wreck, gets in a car accident, and she doesn't have the right insurance. And then there goes the money that you had thought was going to take care of your children to pay one of your sister's creditors.
Yes.
Can't leave any of this to chance. We have to make affirmative decisions.
Yes, absolutely. We have to take control and be proactive. I will say that I usually don't tell that level of detail. My objective is I actually will tell people, you don't have to take my word for it. Google it. You'll find like pages and pages of why minors should not be beneficiaries. What I tell them in shorthand is things are likely to not turn out the way you intend if you leave your minor children as beneficiaries. It's like, that's it. And then I give them your email.
And then how do you feel about employment benefit life insurance?
It's better than nothing. It's absolutely worthwhile to have, especially if the company is paying for it or highly subsidizing it, which they generally are. But you really don't want to rely on that because right now people don't stay at their jobs for their whole lifetime.
True.
And so when they leave, I actually had this with a mutual client of ours. He was at Apple and he actually had a very unusual medical condition. I'd never heard of a aneurysm on a person's spleen. And this person actually had multiple children, but he decided to just kind of let it ride with Apple because the benefits were, the life insurance was good enough and it wasn't very expensive. But what happened was that a year later, he left and went to Amazon. And that's
Mm.
when he found out that even though his salary was higher, his life insurance was quite minimal. And
Uh-oh.
so, luckily, I'd never heard of this condition before, but we were able to find him some life insurance fairly quickly to keep his family protected. But that's the story about, employer life insurance. I mean, sometimes people don't realize that even if they have it, if they leave, they might have to apply for it all over again,
Mm.
which they can't believe. They're like, why do I have to apply? I had it before. And it's because they're not considered part of this big risk pool anymore. They're on their own as a risk. And so there's so many little um, oversights and assumptions that people make that could be easily addressed if they just, talk to someone like myself.
This is why I love sending clients your way, because I know that you're not going to ask them, how much life insurance do you want? That you're going to make them do the work of, if something happens to me, I need to make sure my people are able to have enough money to do X. You're also going to dig into their employee benefits packages and make recommendations there on their life, their disability, maybe long-term care benefits, and explain to them, this is what you actually have in place. You can enhance your work benefits in this way. And then let's do some extra added coverage with some independent insurance, because, who knows if you're going to work at that company, and who knows if you become disabled, if they're actually going to pay out or instead figure out how to let you go. I'm
So true.
paranoid. I have a PhD in paranoid.
Well, and that brings me to a question for you because one thing that has always struck me is how comprehensive and thorough you are with your clients in terms of really looking into, you find the holes too. Just like I kind of stumble upon them. I don't know that I would find comfortable way if I were talking about insurance to even ask about. I could work it in, but because when I take a person's application, I stumble upon it. And so it's easy for me. But you're not necessarily stumbling upon things, but you are finding these little holes about like, oh, there's no life insurance here, or whatever type of insurance or financial or tax
Mhm.
issue there is. And so I wanted to ask about your process.
Sure. So some estate planning attorneys will do the documents. And that's great because everybody needs really great documents created by a capable, qualified attorney. I strongly feel that we're not doing enough for our clients if we're not providing them with rock solid referrals, not a list of 7 names, but rock solid referrals that are perfect specifically for them to CPAs, financial advisors, insurance brokers, corporate counsel, real estate lawyers, family law attorneys, whatever it might be. Estate planning, you think that once you sign that document and you feel so good, you sign all those documents and you feel great. Sadly, that's not the end of the story. There's so much work that has to be done after the documents are signed.
Yeah.
And the client isn't the one doing a lot of the work sometimes. It's the insurance broker who needs to prepare documents for the client to sign. It's adding the home as an additional insured. It's changing a beneficiary designation. It's getting the documents to the CPA, getting the documents to a financial advisor. And we don't want to add the burden to the client to do that work. And so we ask our clients, who are your advisors? Oh, you're DIYing everything. That's not a safe space for a surviving spouse or partner. That's not a safe space for your ultimate successors if they don't have professionals to turn to and rely on. And so helping our clients build out a team and then keeping that team informed is a value at my firm.
I see that, with your clients and, or I should say our clients. I see that, and I think it's a massive value because I also see how other places, other professionals approach this, and it's very different. So
Oh,
it's a
thank you.
huge,
But I'm trying to change that. I'm talking more and more about really spending time listening to clients, gathering more information from them than what they think should be in their plan.
Mhm.
And all the technology in the world can make your process more streamlined, but I think that should be your internal process,
Mm.
never to the detriment of spending 3 to 4 hours with each client to get to the bottom of whatever is there at the bottom, whatever it might be down there at the bottom.
Yes, yes. So I just want to leave you with one question, one big question, since I have this time with you, which is, what is one thing you want people to know about estate planning? Like if you had to like take out a billboard, what would
Yes,
you want it to say?
estate planning is for everybody. It is for everybody. It is not about the people who live at Downton Abbey and have racehorses and dripping with jewels. They can have an estate plan too. I don't mind. I don't get upset. But I don't worry about them because they have enough money that whatever happens, the money helps. If you are a middle class person, this could be devastating to your family if you're not organized properly. And if you're not middle class yet, it can actually be even worse. And legal aid societies are really starting to recognize that estate planning is foundational, that it protects families, it protects individuals, and it keeps people out of the court system. So don't let anybody tell you that you're not ready for estate planning. Don't let anybody gatekeep and say, oh, well, we're going to do this work first, and then I'll send you to the estate planner. Estate planning is foundational. And now that it's Estate Planning Awareness Month, I'm going to ask everybody watching this to tell 2 friends. And
Oh,
then they can tell 2 friends about estate planning.
I can't wait.
I know that you tell 2 friends about estate planning all the time. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Happy Estate Planning Awareness Month.
Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate the time with you.